Hi, Steph.
Hello there, Lauren. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
Steph, you are a comedian, a wife, mother, nurse, an Army veteran. You don't smoke weed, so how do you do it all?
I don't even know. You know what? All my life, I never really had any vices, and my lovely brother,
Oh, that's
he
good.
actually told me my vice. And actually, now that you said it, he said, "Steph, you don't smoke weed, drink heavily, do any hardcore drugs." He's like, "You did have three children out of wedlock." So
Oh,
he's
there
like,
it is.
I think your vice is having children.
Ah, okay, fair enough.
But my youngest is now 18, so
Yeah,
I honestly don't have a real answer for that question anymore.
you multitask because you and I were doing a show last night in Phoenix at the 44, and I noticed in between performers you were checking your phone and you were watching your son on the little GPS, making sure he got home with your car.
Yeah,
So
I
she
gave
multitasks.
while I was away, I gave my 18-year-old my car to drive to and from work only, and I have on the locator app. So I just made sure he made it to home, from
There you
home to
go.
work safely.
Yeah.
I actually paid my daughter, this is neurotic, $25 to just drive behind him to make sure he got to and from work safely.
It's not a bad idea because think back, you're doing it for a reason. Think back to when you were that age, and I think back to when I was that age, and I wasn't as good of a kid as they thought I was.
Look,
So
I don't know, I was perfect.
I wrecked my dad's
I was
Jag.
perfect.
So yeah,
So
I ran into a telephone pole of my dad's Jaguar. It was
nice.
icy, but still, like kids, they're dumb.
But
And
a
then
Jag, come on.
yeah, and then my Jeep, it slid right into the garage at the side of the house, basically. But it was black ice on our driveway, but still, you know.
Well, it was his fault because he did not get rid of the ice on the
See,
driveway.
see, he didn't salt the
See?
things. Blame the guys. So, why comedy, and why now?
Well, it's crazy. I'm also a nurse, like you said. I've been a nurse for about 20 years,
Awesome.
and I got to the point, I was tired. I said 20 years, a long time to be killing my patients and getting away with it.
Right?
I said, kill people with laughter
Yeah, that's
and
better.
not incompetence,
That's better.
you know? But seriously, that's just a joke in case anybody's watching.
Yeah,
There is no,
they are
I don't
watching.
need a dateline on me.
Right?
Um,
60 Minutes Australia. We're like, that's
yeah.
weird. We got international news on this.
But it was weird when I turned. My husband's told me for years that I was funny, and I should try stand up. So over the years, I'd
That's
written a
great.
joke or two. Never did anything. When I turned 50, I said, you know what? I'm gonna try to do some open mics,
Yeah,
and that was my original plan, was just do open mics. And then I
sure.
researched further, found they took comedy classes, and so I just said, you know what? Screw it, and I jumped right in, and I took a class at Helium
Oh,
in
cool.
Philadelphia. So
Okay.
that actually 6-week course, and I graduated. Whatever. My graduation showcase was April of 2022, and honestly, I just haven't looked back since then.
Very cool.
So, and I'm gaining some traction on the East Coast a little bit, a little tri-state area.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good to come out here. I've been to California.
Where we met.
We met at the Burbank Comedy Festival last year,
Super fun.
and we hit it off
I go,
right
oh, she does
away.
her hair and makeup. Let's go to get coffee.
Yeah, we got coffee every morning. It was wonderful. But so we met last year,
There's a
and
ton of nurses at that one too. It was like all the
yeah,
healthcare people. It's kind of weird, but there were like five nurses.
nurse anesthetist, a
Wasn't
couple
there one
other
named
like
Coffee or
Coffee
Coco?
Brown, I think.
She was cute.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
yeah,
was
yeah.
great.
She was a nurse too. Yeah, I liked
Yeah.
her.
So yeah, so I've been now I'm here in Phoenix. I've been to Virginia.
Nice.
So I'm trying to get around
Yeah.
in a good way.
Rein it in.
My husband would
Rein it in
wants me
stuff.
to clarify that, I'm sure.
What do you like about doing comedy? Like, was it an addiction for you? Like, what do you like about doing stand up performing?
No, it's definitely not an addiction, because I've gone, a week without doing it, but unlike sex.
Oh,
Um,
that's good.
but it's weird too because before I even did comedy, my niece, when I think it was my birthday dinner when I turned 50, and I told everybody I was taking a comedy class. My niece said, "But Aunt Steph, you hate being in front of the camera.
Oh,
I was always
and look at you now.
I know,
Looking
it's
your
crazy.
best.
I was always the picture taker.
Facebook Live.
That's crazy. I'm
Right.
very,
Feels your color, girlfriend.
seeing how maybe she'll put the skinny filter on the camera so I look skinnier.
There you go.
But no, so it's crazy because going from being always behind the scenes, just taking the pictures,
Sure.
to doing, being in front of hundreds of people, 50 people, whatever, 10 people. I hate pictures. I literally hate my pictures all the time.
Oh, and guys are the worst. Like they do the below angle, like from below, and then like on the side, like worst possible angle. Like we look better. Like I don't know. It's just angles are everything, and like I don't know what it is. Whenever I've done a comedy show, they'll usually have a guy, it's a photographer. Nobody looks good. Like basically, what it looks like is when you first open your camera accidentally, the front-facing camera.
Yep.
From below, nobody looks good like that.
So
and that's how they take pictures.
So I like the cameras that are up a little bit.
Oh,
so
hell yeah.
Hopefully my double chin's
if I could
coming
attach that to the ceiling, I would. It's slimming. No, I mean, it just angles are everything, I'm telling you. With your performances you've done, especially like back east in New York and stuff, have you had any rough crowds or hecklers or anything like that?
No.
That's good.
No, I haven't, because most of my stuff I do is, if it's not self-deprecating too much, but it's talking about me, my family, my kids.
Yeah.
So I don't really do anything, too crazy, where somebody would get too mad and want to throw a beer bottle at me or anything like that.
Right.
But I'm actually kind of, as far as when it comes to heckling, I do know how to kind of
calm them down
without getting escalation.
You kind of have the same scenario that I do, where if I do material that's actually like really relatable, some of the women that are a little drunk, they're like, "Preach, sister!" And they like try to get involved, and then we have to have a dialogue. I'm like, I don't really want a dialogue. Like I'll do a little crowd work, but that's why I don't do much crowd work, because what happens is sometimes when people are really blasted, they don't turn it off, and so they keep going. I had one show, because I mentioned you're a producer also, where I produced a show, and my headliner was Matt Broom, and these women were so tipsy, and they were right up front, and they would not stop. And it got to the point where he just sat down on the stool. He's like, "Okay, ladies, well, to hell with my set. What do you want to talk about? Because it's obviously your time to shine." They wouldn't stop. They were being nasty, but they were like, it was as though they thought they were having a private show with him, and like no one else was in the room, and we had like an audience of like 75 or 100 people. It was like packed out in this little speakeasy, and these are the front row, and it's like no one was behind them. They just couldn't care less. I'm like, have some bread, have some water, chill out, take a nap.
Right.
Yeah. Where have your favorite shows been so far to perform?
So far, actually, last night at the 44, it was shout out to the producers of that show. They were
Saskia and Maureen.
Yeah,
very fun.
It was a nice show, good crowd. They seemed to enjoy my comedy.
Yeah.
I did a set. I was in the Funny Bone of Virginia Beach. I had a guest spot there last year.
That's cool.
Other than
I've never done a Funny Bone. There's a bunch of them, right?
Yeah, there are. Yeah.
All back east.
Yeah, I think Virginia, but then there's Cleveland. There might be one down in Florida.
Florida, that's what I thought. Okay.
Cool. Other than taking me about an hour and a half to 2 hours to drive about 12 miles through a tunnel. It was great there. No, it was great. I was a little bit late. Not that that's my norm. Just from the traffic
that's
tunnel.
Stressful.
I was
in a tunnel that whole time? That would freak me out.
I was actually, I was late. They actually were cool. It was fine. And I walked through the door. The crowd was already there. The host was already up. They were going to try to switch the lineup around so I could just, wait a few minutes, but
nice.
They didn't. It couldn't work.
Yeah.
I walked in, threw my wristlet on the counter, and I just ran on stage.
Oh yeah.
But the audience was great. They seemed to enjoy me. And
that's cool.
It was great. I've done where have I done? I did a show for a swingers club.
We have a one of those out here. This guy Kubari. I should have reached out to him. Kubari hosts one out here.
I was told by a friend of mine to watch out for the swingers club, and I'm like,
that's the Hive.
I said, but I've had
I haven't done that.
One of my best sets, because I would not quantify my material as
edgy.
Like It's not. I talk about adult material,
You're not crash.
but in a
yeah.
classy-ish.
You don't
not,
Sarah Silverman.
I'm not a
it.
raunchy. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not a raunchy comedian.
No.
But I talk about, if something I'm talking about delves into something like that,
Yeah.
then it does. But it's not the focus of my sets.
Yeah. So okay, so you can't gloss over the fact that you were at a swingers club. Tell me everything.
I didn't. There was nothing. We were there for 45 minutes to an hour, and then after
Were people
we
dressed, or were they just
Oh,
scantily
it
clad?
was very interesting. The
Did it smell
costumes.
disgusting? I want
No,
all the
it was.
details.
It was. They some people, were very skimpily dressed. Some people were
Okay.
dressed regularly, and then
Okay.
it was just. We felt like we were more in their way of getting, their
Laid?
freak on.
Really?
But they enjoyed. It was a great show.
So literally, it's like an orgy event, and then they like pause the orgy for you
No,
to tell
no,
jokes.
no. They
what?
actually, it was very the owners.
Weird.
No, it was great. They were very classy, and a lot of people were new. So like they just established, what went on for the weekend.
Okay.
People were able to do what they felt comfortable doing. Nothing was forced. So I mean, it was, I would definitely do it again because it was just they laughed and had a good time.
And just hung out like a normal show, but
yeah.
then
Oh my God, it was great.
so nothing weird was going on in the background. Or anything.
No.
Is that would like
no?
put me
Everybody
off.
was just sitting there enjoying the show.
Okay. Were you in a sex swing while telling the jokes?
No.
Were you sitting on a ramp of any kind?
Nope.
Well, then that's good.
It was a regular show.
Okay. That's okay. That's not too bad. I was picturing.
No, but I've seen, other comedians post clips of their shows at swingers clubs, and it's a little more risque.
Yeah.
But no.
You're talking into the mic, and all of a sudden, like, see a little feather come by and like tickle. You're like, get out of
No.
here. Get on my face.
No, it was great.
You're like, why are you flogging me? I'm mid joke.
Yeah. No, it was great.
Okay. Depends on what you're into, I guess.
Yeah.
You're like, no kink. No, we're not into that today. All right. That's very interesting. Where was that located?
In Jersey.
A Jersey swingers club.
Yep.
Very bridge and tunnel. Tell me a little more about that. So, what kind of people were there?
They looked like regular, ordinary people. With a little more bangles.
I just want to know.
A little more bangles.
A little more bangles.
A little more, some people.
Any
more,
acid wash jeans?
No. A little more skin showing on some of the people.
Shout out to Jersey.
Not a lot of bras.
I heard they ski in their jeans.
Not a lot of bras, I don't believe. Not a lot of bras.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's really free in that sense.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know. Love it. Back to nursing. Well, this kind of reminds me of that. Do you have any weird or wild patient stories? Because you've been a nurse for 20 years, you said.
Yeah, but
don't name anybody.
No. HIPAA.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're not allowed. No, my stories are pretty. I did probably the craziest was when I worked in the ER.
Oh, yeah.
But I only worked in the ER for about 2 years.
What's the craziest thing you saw there?
The craziest thing is when I had to give Narcan for drug overdoses.
Oh.
How fast? Like one was a kid who apparently before he'd overdosed, he'd eaten Oreos.
Oh.
So you give Narcan. Yeah, it's my go-to. When you
I've OD'd on those.
when you when you give Narcan, it works like
instantaneously.
Almost. So
it just counteracts any drugs.
It counteracts, and usually they're very angry because they were nice and high. Who cared about almost being dead as well? But
wow. Do you have to inject them like an adrenaline kind of shot?
It's an IV push.
Huh.
Yeah, it's an IV push.
So now does that counteract?
Well, for us in the ER, I know there's sprays now or something.
Does that counteract anything that's like an opioid base, or does it also work on things like meth and cocaine and crack and heroin?
Well, now you're asking me questions that are out of my scope.
Me too. I don't prescribe. So
So then it wakes them up instantaneously. They're mad, and he threw up his Oreos all over the place.
Did you get Oreo on you?
No.
Okay. I imagine they're not great.
We learn how to bob and weave.
I was avoiding getting puked on by a Great Dane this morning, so
yeah, you're Great Dane. Oh yeah, cutie pie.
Gunnar loves her.
Oh my God, her dogs are adorable.
Sorry to plug my dog, but I just wanted to.
It's all right.
Mention him. So they wake up angry. It's so interesting. And then, do they usually remember what they did, or
not really? Not really.
Huh. Have you had any like really scary things where people came in like weird stuff like you see on TV, like they were impaled by a tree branch, like the crazy.
No, because we weren't like a level. We might have been a level. We weren't a level one. Like level one trauma centers are the ones where they
Got hit by a train. Like
the
that's where
serious.
they go.
Like I one time I had a motorcycle rider who
Ooh.
fell, while he was in a parking lot, road rash
Oh yeah.
everywhere,
Oh, it's terrible.
and that's
Yeah.
like literally he was evac to it because that can go from
Sure.
regular to horrible.
Sure.
So just from the shock and
Yeah.
so
They have to have skin grafts and everything.
well we don't see him after that.
Mm-hmm.
He was walking, talking,
What do you
in
guys do?
shape guy.
Give them morphine or something to kind of just make it more
Morphine, make
comfortable?
sure we start an IV, just check him out, and then we try to get him the hell out of there.
Wow. Yeah, of all the patients I've worked with, the most seriously injured ever were always the motorcycle guys. And that's why I feel so bad for my husband because Jamie was a Harley mechanic and loves to ride. And he used to have a sidecar for the dog and like there's a whole thing. But even he was in a wreck. Somebody pulled out in front of him. He flew over a truck. And so when he and I got together, I had to reset his shoulder that had been left dislocated by the VA for like 2 years. It was like hanging socket. And then I had another patient. This was the most gnarly thing I'd ever heard. It was my first year in practice, and women or men are so funny with stuff. Like women will tell me what they had for lunch, like extra information. I don't give a shit. I'm like, where does it hurt? Like I'm very like in the zone. But this guy, I got out of him the fact that he'd had a history of trauma because they were like, oh no, nothing major, and then he admitted to having had a motorcycle wreck. He was hit by a semi, and his face was made out of his pelvis. I would say that's significant trauma.
Yeah, a little
It's
bit.
like, whoa, So some of the worst things, it's like, and I feel bad because I'm sure it's a lot of fun to ride and everything. And the issue's not usually the guys that ride it; it's the getting hit by other people. But some of I can see why they say the life expectancy of like a guy in their 20s that gets like a bullet bike or something is a year or less because they'll go 110 on the freeway. I mean, you hit anything, even a moving vehicle like 75, you're just going to be parts. It's just going to go pink.
Yeah.
Actually,
I had an ex who died in a motorcycle accident.
Oh, sorry.
Like, oh yeah. I mean, it was a long time ago, and now my husband would love to get a motorcycle. And I said, cool, get a motorcycle, but just know every time you leave the house, I'm going to think you're going to die.
Yeah.
So
I'm not going to be fun to be around.
So
can you just go out in a field somewhere with it? Like do a dirt bike. I'd rather you do a dirt bike and go off in like the desert. Like that wouldn't bother me. I wouldn't worry about him actually. Jamin, if you're listening, go do that. But like, my husband does the UTVs and ATVs, no problem because I know he's out and he's not near cars. But what happens is all the major stuff is like people not seeing them in time and they'll hit them. So yeah, they tried to get me on one. I'm like, oh, good luck. Yeah. I flipped a jet ski once in Florida. I'm like, that wrecked me. I almost broke my leg doing that. So that was in water. I don't think I need to do gravel.
Any land activities.
I don't.
Yeah.
I'm so graceful, Steph. It's just.
Yeah.
Did you do any like sports or anything like that growing up?
Oh.
You seem like you would have done like softball or something.
No, never softball. I did play soccer when I was younger. My brother will love this. I played basketball for one season.
Oh, did you hate it?
My junior year at a private school.
Oh, okay.
So it was a private school in Alabama.
What?
It was an all white school. So
weird.
So
it must have been a really terrible.
By looking at me with my 5'4" frame, I was one of the starting forwards on our basketball team.
Wow. So you didn't win a lot.
And the highlight of that season was that I scored 2 points.
Wow.
All season. And then ended up being for the other team.
Oh, congratulations.
I caught a rebound.
Wow.
And I was so excited that I actually got to touch the ball.
Wow.
That I just threw it immediately back in the hoop without running to our end of the
Good
court.
Job. Did they invite you out afterwards? Yeah. They're like, we owe you this victory to you.
I was MVP of the season.
Yeah, I bet you guys didn't win a lot. That's terrible. Maybe it's a good thing we've got all these guys playing in women's sports now because maybe we'll start really dominating.
Right.
Don't love it for boxing though. Sorry, not a fan of that. But yeah. So that being said, because you've kind of had a life change with some of the stuff that you're doing now, if you could go back I don't know, 20 years, would you be on the same track? Would you still do nursing?
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't look back and be like, well, if I had done this, I mean, yeah, sure. Look back, I would erase, my children.
Well, not bad. I just mean
But
like
I
career
mean,
wise. Yeah. Yeah.
no, because I was really smart in high school. That didn't really translate to, after high school. But
Adulthood. You're like, how am I getting dumber? And I'm just kidding.
yeah.
You're so not. You say that about yourself, but you're so not.
No, but
A lot more people would be dying at work.
right.
Just kidding about that. You're
I
fine.
am kidding. Um, just don't delve too deeply.
Yeah. Right.
But no, yeah, because I was originally thinking thought I was going to either do like become a doctor or a lawyer,
Sure.
and then then I did the military thing. I did the military thing from 20 to 24, which was like my college days. And then once I got out, I started college, and I was very serious minded now. And then 6 months later, I got pregnant. So that kind of changed my course
That'll do it.
because going to medical school, going to law school with a kid was not really feasible. So
Takes a little longer. Gets a lot more money.
yeah.
Considers and
So
everything.
I mean,
Yeah.
nursing school. No, I mean, I'm not saying that nursing school was easy,
Mm.
but it was less time. And I have my memory is pretty good. I almost photogenic ish.
It helps.
My husband doesn't like that, but I remember most
Everything.
things he
Me
doesn't.
too. It makes
But-
forgiveness harder when you remember everything.
Yeah. What's that saying? It's easier to ask for forgiveness than for permission.
Yes.
I like that saying.
Yes.
I use it a lot in everyday life with my husband. But yeah, so I mean, it's just how my life was. I had a kid. I wasn't going to go to law school or medical school. Nursing was very close second. It's been 20 years of rewarding career.
Mm-hmm.
I've been able to have a nice lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. I think I would have liked doing something with more like FBI kind of stuff.
Oh
I
yeah,
looked
you
into
know
that
what?
too late.
I
was
do
too
like
old.
I do like forensics.
Yes.
So I think there was a point where I didn't realize how little they got paid. Sorry. But I would have
Mhm.
liked like a sheriff deputy, which is like they go to the crime scenes or not even accident scenes. They they secure it. I think that'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like watching CSI
Mhm.
and Criminal Minds.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So if I probably could have done something
Yeah.
like that. Or I love the weather. I
Be
could
a
have been a
weather-
weather person.
Those are two very different things, Steph.
I know, Ask my family. My family's like way into like the weather. Like in our house when there's a big thunderstorm coming,
oh, I'll have to show you
I
videos
get
later.
I get excited.
Did you see about Houston yesterday?
Oh, so I guess no, I'm not. Maybe I'm not like the weather as
Well, you're
much
fired. No,
because I don't know what. Oh, they had big storms, right?
like crazy
Tornadoes or
Well,
storms?
it was more almost like a hurricane, but winds like a tornado, and so parts of buildings were ripped off, like bricks ripped off of buildings, windows gone, like the Wells Fargo building, half the windows are gone. Trees, like full
How did you
trees.
have time to watch the weather since I've been here?
Oh, that's what I do in the morning. I do my
Ah.
abbreviated little clips on stuff on like YouTube and like TikTok.
Yeah.
It's just very fast, and I look at international news a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
I like to get like a consensus of what everybody's saying and then go from there.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did make a TikTok video last year of when this really crazy like weather was rolling in, and I videoed my from my backyard, and I actually caught the first like 15 seconds when like the winds came through,
Oh,
and I have like a fire pit. All the chairs got knocked over. The
fun.
trees are sideways.
it's
My
crazy.
patio furniture was, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
And then I was like, no, I couldn't do this because I got scared. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because they send you to where all the action is.
Yeah,
when
no.
you do that. I don't like wind. Like I just feel like this would just not be good with wind and rain.
Right.
In the morning I look a lot like Danny DeVito until I get glammed up. So
No, I saw you this morning before you were, and you still looked pretty. So
well,
I
thank
wasn't
you.
like, oh,
Were you drinking this morning?
your wonderful coffee.
Okay. No, I've actually been through a few tornadoes, and it's really concerning
Of course
how
you have.
yeah, 3. And
Of
it's so
course.
concerning. Like a lot of places have no plan. In Georgia, like Georgia has some of the worst city planning, like in Atlanta specifically, that I've ever seen. Like nothing for snow. They didn't have plows. I got trapped in my house once for a week
Where?
in Atlanta.
Well, it's Atlanta. It
Yeah, but
doesn't.
it
How
happens
often does it snow?
at least once a year. So enough where they should have at least some plows for the freeways. Like they have no, like it's not like it's new. Like
All right, Georgia,
yeah, get it together.
get on your shit. All right.
And then we had tornadoes
Lauren
out there.
Rachel does not want to get stuck in her house again
Yeah.
for a week.
And then their whole plan when we had a tornado, as we had a few when I was there in college, was to just get in the bathtub and put your mattress over you. How am I going to carry my own mattress, wiggle it into my bathroom? Like you've got a minute or two, right? And then try to. It doesn't make sense, but like their big plan was to get into the bathtub. But I'm like, there's nothing to grip onto. Why would you be in your bathtub?
Look, just watch Twister,
Right.
and you'll learn everything you need
That's
to know.
what I'm saying. We've got cows. Like that's what.
You know they're making a second one.
I
right?
saw that.
I think it's coming out this
I
summer.
hope they have the flying cows, or it's not going to be the same.
It's not going to be the same without what's his name? Oh, the guy who died in the star in that Bill.
Oh yeah,
No, not Bill.
Paxton?
Yeah.
Paxton. Not Pullman.
No.
Paxton.
I forget whatever his
I know
name
what
is.
you're talking about.
He was the one who the
I
star.
liked that guy.
He died. It's horrible.
Yes, I liked that guy. So you, what were your duties when you were in the army?
Do you want the PC or the real?
I
Man,
want the
I
real.
just-
I want the juicy, exciting stuff. You're holding back. a lot of stuff. Dish it.
I was known as like the person if you wanted to know where was a hot place to go that night.
So you were a tour guide.
I knew
You were the army
where
tour guide.
every night of the week I knew where the hot place to go was to like drink. 'Cause
How did you get that gig? That sounds
I
like
don't
the
know.
best military experience ever.
you know what's funny is I ran into a girlfriend years after I was out of the military, and she was asking how my military experience was, and I told her I loved it. It was a big party.
It was a big party.
And she's like, I hate the military, but for some reason
You
I
made
want
it
to
sound
join
like
right now. And I
Yeah,
was
you're
like,
the only
everyone's
one.
experience. I said, I'll be like the disclaimer.
You're
you
the
know?
only one I've ever heard of that had like a great time. Like my husband was guarding terrorists in a prison in
Let's
the
see.
Middle East.
What
And you're like, I went to the bar. I didn't think you could do that. Like that was a big issue when I was in Oceanside. That the guys were getting in trouble a lot from Camp
that's all
Pendleton.
between running at 6:30 in the morning for your 3 times a week PT.
Ooh.
Like when we would run in the morning, it
Hungover,
was like
no less.
it was like a wave of alcohol because that's all we did was drink.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. I was 20 to 24.
Wow.
That was like my college days.
Wow.
I had a blast.
You were running hungover.
Yes, it was, but we
Ooh.
were 20. So
That's
like,
true. I'd go out like 4 nights a week when I was in my 20s.
yeah,
and now I'm
no,
like, oh my God.
I
I'd
was
age
like,
drink.
I was like the tour guide for the places to go.
Wow.
You know, I am saying drinking and driving is wrong.
You were
Okay, don't
drinking
do
and
it.
jogging. It's
Yeah,
different. It's not the
but
same.
you know, I remember one time coming home from the club, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and they had like guards, a guard post at the beginning,
Yeah.
every entrance.
Yeah.
And I remember once almost running into one of the guards and whatever. I don't advocate now that I'm older and more mature and wiser for drinking and driving.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky that I'm alive.
This is why you're paranoid and you're having your son followed.
Yeah, I'm lucky I'm alive, because I was young and stupid. But yeah, I had a good time. I went to basic training in Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Okay. That's cool.
It's
pretty there.
There's nothing to do when you're in basic training. I got in trouble a lot because the drill sergeants would yell, and I have this personality where if you're yelling at me, I laugh.
Yeah.
So I would laugh kind of, and they would be like, just give me some more push-ups. It was hot, so in the summertime we'd have to, do all these things.
Would they yell at you to make you laugh sometimes, you think?
No, I have no idea because they were mean. They were mean. They walk around. This one little Spanish guy would be like, drinks. All he would do is yell and drink because they want us dehydrated.
Oh, yeah.
I think I was on guard duty before. And I would fall asleep in the foxholes.
Oh, you were great at this.
I would fall asleep in the foxholes.
Wow.
I remember the one time
napping, partying, and the occasional jog.
we were we had set up camp, we were set up tents, and I could fall asleep at the drop. I can to this day I can fall asleep at the drop of a hat. And I woke up one time, and everybody in our tent was laughing, and I woke up,
Oh no.
and it had snowed, and the tent above my head had caved in from where the snow was, and I woke up and the tent was like 6 inches on top of my head.
Oh no.
And they weren't telling me because they were just having such a good time
Wow.
watching me.
Wow.
So yeah, so then I did that. That was a lot of fun. What else happened? So much fun.
You mentioned that you were in Cuba.
Yes, I was.
How long were you in Cuba?
6 months.
Wow. How fun, did it look like, I was gonna say how fun was it, but it sounds like that's where you were partying a lot?
No, that wasn't where, I mean, I partied a lot there, but that was just another random. That was in Colorado,
Okay.
when I was in Colorado.
Okay.
But no,
How was
Colorado, Cuba was fantastic.
Really?
All I was really doing was supervising the migrants. They had camps, and so we went down there to supervise them while they had big kitchens that they would cook like vats. They would cook chicken, cook rice, vegetables. And we were there just to make sure things were done. You know,
Migrants going to Cuba?
no, they had camps. The Cubans were staying there.
Oh.
Yeah, so they were staying there in camps.
Why? Were they staying in camps?
You know.
Was this
I wish
another-
I wish I could tell you that I was all up on what was going on, but I think all I heard was Cuba,
And communism?
Island.
Communism?
communism, when I said
How was that looking in
I'm
the
there.
city?
I'm
How was
there.
the city? It was a little
Well, we were in Guantanamo Bay,
Oh.
so it was
Ooh.
beautiful,
Okay.
you know?
How were the cars down there?
I don't really know.
They're all from the 40s and 50s.
Yeah, I don't really know.
On this side of the.
Because
on this side
Guantanamo
of
Bay
it.
was separate from,
Yeah, sure. Okay.
you know,
You
so-
weren't in the city or anything.
No, it was a lot of,
Oh.
I had a ball. I
Yeah.
got in trouble
You guys-
a couple
you were-
times.
you
I
were-
drank
Tumbler.
the first and only time I think I drank Bacardi 151.
Oh.
And
Yeah.
because liquor was very cheap down there.
Not bad.
Liquor was very cheap. We played a lot of cards, drank a lot of beer.
Do you have a Cuban cigar?
No, I never did try a cigar.
Fail.
I was a loser. Well, I was, just like when I was in Colorado for 4 years, I didn't ski.
Really?
So when I was in Cuba, it makes sense that I wouldn't try a Cuban cigar.
You have to do the things.
Yeah.
I was taking horseback riding this morning.
I went to Palm Springs once. I horseback rode.
Oh, you did? Oh,
Yeah.
how'd you do?
You know, sore the next day.
Yes, yeah.
But no,
I think
it
the
was
horse
a lot of
fell.
fun.
It's a lot.
Yeah, Cuba was a lot of fun though.
Yeah.
I have to say, for the first month, they asked for volunteers because they had a cruise ship there,
Hmm.
and you know, I was like, yeah, they're at a club
Mm-hmm.
on the boat, so I would do my little migrant supervision during the day,
Mm-hmm.
come back home, change, go to the club,
Wow.
and then you know, do it all again the
You're
next
there
day.
during a good time. I think at this point, I don't think U.S. citizens are allowed there unless we're doing like I think you have to have like a film pass or something to go down there now. Like if you're
Huh?
making a movie or something, it's like a crew kind of
Well,
thing.
darn, there goes my plans
Yeah.
for next week.
You don't, yeah, definitely don't go to Venezuela either. It's not going well. That's how communism ends up, not going well. Okay, that's fun. Oh, and I was gonna say, you were actually recently married, fairly recently married. I think you got married at the same time I did. Weren't you married in like?
I got married
And it-
December 24th, 2022.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah.
a year and a half ago.
Oh, very cool. And this was your
First ever.
That's awesome.
That's why I said I had 3 children out of wedlock. My my husband is a beautiful black man. Love him to death.
I just love how you say it. It's so funny.
Because he is. He
Yeah.
is. He's a wonderful man. Our marriage is fine. Everything's great.
Good.
He's not like the typical stepdad kind of thing, because my kids are, you know, pretty much grown. He's
Sure.
more there for support, encouragement. If they have questions, advice, he's there for that. We do not live together.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yes, and
Well, no
it's-
wonder you get along. That's great.
and it goes, and eventually we are, but
How far away does he live?
15 minutes.
How funny.
Yeah.
Was he got an apartment or something?
He
Here
has
in
an
the house?
apartment. But the thing is, my kids, they're 18, 20, 26.
Okay.
My son got a puppy like a year and a half ago.
Okay.
Didn't tell me.
Oh,
And
that's
then I
thoughtful.
guess a month or two later, it was decided that his girlfriend was going to move in.
What the hell? So
And I didn't know
everyone's living with you with a husband.
it took Rob. Rob said. He
What?
said he'll move in when my kids move out.
Oh, so it's going great. That's really funny.
But no, so they moved in, and so it's just
Do you stay at his place more?
Yeah,
or come
not
stay,
more.
Come stay at the house? Or what's
we
the-
go back and forth. And
Okay.
actually, eventually we talk about moving down south because I'm ready to just, or depending upon where my comedy career goes, whatever.
Sure.
But it's too many people in
That's
my
okay.
house.
Yeah.
And he maybe we were at his house a couple weeks ago and we were, laying there watching TV and it was just us two. And he's like, you know what? I wish every man could experience the peace that I have
Oh, nice.
living on my own. He's like, because I think every guy should try it one time. Because we get along. We don't, we've had our, like every relationship, I'm not going to delve into that. But, things are great. They're very stable.
Yeah,
It
that's
works
good.
out for right now.
Yeah.
Financially, would it help? Of course, to live
That's
together.
ways. Sure.
But
do you see him every day?
not every day. We probably see each other like 3-4 times a week.
So that's probably why it's still young and fun and new, because it's like you're still dating.
And that, what, I enjoy
It's
that
not bad.
because I
It's
still,
not bad.
when he comes over,
There's no rule that says you have to do things a certain way.
when he comes over, I still get excited. I put,
That's
a
great.
little lip gloss on, make sure I make sure I look cute when I go to his house. He looks cute all the time, It's
That's
so
nice.
it's easy for men
Sure.
to look good because they don't have their hair to fix and. So no,
That's
it's great.
great.
I know, and I try not to tell a lot of people that because
It's interesting.
there's people that are for, there's people that are against it.
Well, it doesn't matter. It
Social
works for
media
you.
nowadays, they're very vocal about how they feel, and if they don't agree with you, it's
Well,
you know.
it doesn't matter. It works for you, and you're happily
Yeah,
married.
no, it's
so who
great.
cares? Like,
And I know a lot of people that have been married for a long time, and
they're not-
now I'm married, and because I was the single one for a long time.
Sure. Yeah, me too.
And now, a lot of my friends have been married and now they're kind of unhappy.
Right.
And they're like looking at me like, oh, maybe,
Maybe that's the key.
maybe
Let's have our
that's
own-
the key. Let's have your own,
Well,
And even if we get married, we want a big enough house where, and he's like, if we get on each other's nerves, and apparently I get on his nerves more than he gets on my nerves.
Well, that's good to know.
That's according to him. So he's like, we need a house big enough where we can, if we need some space. He's like, it'd be really cool if we got a house and there was like a long hallway in
Yeah.
between the two houses,
boy.
so we could still be together, but like go our
Still
own
be
way.
separate? Ridiculous. Ridiculous. It's so funny.
And I'm like, yes, I'm sure there's
Wow.
that. Well, I'm sure we'll find the architect that will
I,
design that house for us.
but if it works and you're still dating, like my husband and I live in the same house, that we're still dating. Like we feel like we're still dating, and so like you probably notice we're still having fun, and like this is the most stressed we've been. We're doing so many things this week. I was at a casino. I'm at the casino to go pick you up, to do a show, to do this, like doing something every 5 hours or so. We're all over the place, and that's the most stressed.
And you
we've
got your
been.
dog kids.
Oh my gosh, they're a lot. It's 150 pounds of energy, but
Fun and love.
no, but we're all, like, our house is fun. Like we were dancing in the kitchen this morning. Like we have a good time. Like it's like we have a happy, fun house, and so But I heard of another couple. Gosh, it was somebody I was dating in college, and his grandparents lived in separate little houses next door to each other, and they were married for like 60 years. She had a little pink house, he had a little blue house, and they would just hang out with each other, but they had their own little space, and they were happily married for like 60 years. So do what works for you, is what I say.
Yeah.
I wasn't planning on getting married. I got married late in life, and but he's the only person I would have married, and I'm having a blast because I dodged a few bullets there. Dodged a few bullets.
Me too. I was engaged twice.
Me too.
Once when I was about This is how dumb I was.
Oh.
This is how dumb I was. I was 18,
Yep.
and I had decided I was going to join the military. And then my boyfriend at the time, I was in love. You know, I was in love. And we decided the only way to get out of me going actually into the military was for me to get pregnant.
Oh.
And so that didn't, thank God it didn't happen. I remember he proposed to 3 Times a Lady by Lionel Richie.
Ooh. If you're pulling out the Lionel,
Yeah, he was serious about it.
was he also a black guy?
Nope.
Oh, he just like Lionel Richie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't everybody?
I mean, you know.
Lionel's universal, I believe.
Yeah. So Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
I sent Jamin some Stevie Wonder yesterday just for fun.
Nice.
He just writes me back, stop. I think it's funny.
Then I was engaged at 20 when I was a guy I met in the military for 2 months.
Oh, of course.
And then I changed my mind, thank God. He married somebody else,
Okay.
but whatever.
It didn't seem solid after the 2 months.
You know what, it was rock solid. Rock solid.
Everyone, you know, and they even say it takes like 3 months to get to know somebody. I would say it takes a year.
It takes more than 3 months.
I'd say a year.
I'd say a good year.
Yeah.
A good year.
Like, we're still learning stuff about each other. It's never boring, but like, there's things I did not know that about you.
Oh, yeah, Rob and I have been together. Rob and I have been together for like 8.5, over 8 years. We've been married for a year and a half.
Oh, so you've been with him a long time.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
we've
I
been
didn't know
together.
that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
But oh yeah, we still. He's like. Apparently, I'm the one he doesn't. You know, I don't give his information. Apparently, I don't give his information out as freely as he does. But he's very closed-mouthed. But every once in a while, he'll be like, "I did not know that about you," and I'm like,
I'm learning a lot right now.
Anything you want to learn, just ask me. He's like, I'd rather learn about it
organically.
Well, he would
Well, it's been
never.
about a decade.
He would never say. He would never say organically because he's not one of those, guys.
He's not like a beatnik poet. That's not.
No,
yeah.
he's not a poet.
He's not a hipster.
He is not a
He
hipster.
doesn't have a monocle.
He's a traditional.
Traditional dude.
Yeah.
Oh, you said he's got an interesting profession too. He travels a lot, right?
No.
No.
He drives a truck,
No.
but he drives locally.
Oh, I always picture them like they're just like really cruising.
Yeah. No. He talks about going over the road, but I'm like, don't go over the road, man.
Over the.
Over the road means from different city to city or state to state.
Okay.
I guess they make the most money, but they're on the road a lot.
Is he with a certain company or is
He
it?
delivers beer.
Oh, fun.
It's a lot of fun.
Oh, he's perfect.
Yeah,
That's great.
yeah.
Party at your
It's
place.
fun. All the time.
Wow.
All the time.
Yeah, my cousin is married to a guy that is a truck driver, but he's like across the country. I think he's all over the place.
Well, that's what I mean.
It's a
And
lot.
I'm like, whatever. He's gonna do what he's gonna do.
I was an exam doctor briefly for the truck drivers in the clinic that I was in. I'm just too lenient with stuff. I'm like, close enough. Like, you're good. Like, weed last week, Like,
Yeah.
it's just, I'm the type that I'll write you a note for Disneyland. I'm like, I don't think it's good for your back to be standing that long.
Mhm.
It's just like, but honestly, I mean, like,
Go see Laura Rachel if you want
Yeah.
a couple days off.
just saying, yeah. Oh, totally. I had one girl, I was like, yeah, PE, you're good. She was in a car accident. Her note, I was like, I don't want you lifting anything ever. Like, you're good. Like, you got
Ever.
6 months of graduation. Just heal up, have a good time. I yelled at her PE teacher. She got hurt again. I was like, no, you're gonna chill. Your job is to chill for the next 6 months, and I feel very good about that. And yeah, I advocate for people.
6
that are
months,
injured.
wow.
Well, she got hurt pretty bad, but still. And you should have her like lift weights and stuff. And I was like, what part of this person shouldn't be to let her take a walk or something, like normal stuff, little jazzercise maybe, but don't have her doing like deadlifts.
Yeah.
Stupid. She was like, her instructor was like a Chet. He was like a real,
Chet.
one of those, or Chad. What do you call him, Chad?
Chad.
Just out of curiosity, because you don't dish very much. I'm really trying to get you to say stuff today.
What? What would you like to know?
Okay, all right. Here's a fun one that'll make you very uncomfortable.
Oh, shit.
Yes. What is one conspiracy theory that you think might be true?
I don't know. Lately, I've been hearing about the Mars landing.
Mars? Lunar?
Moon.
Moon?
Why are we gonna say lunar? Say moon. There could be people listening that don't know what lunar means.
That's true. Moon. The moon, yes.
The moon landing was faked. I heard like Matt Damon is coming out with a movie this summer that talks about that.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. I don't really do much with conspiracy theories, and I won't talk about it really because I don't want to offend anybody
I love offending people.
that is listening that subscribes to said conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm just thinking about it. You know, it was '69, and
Sure.
what was around those days to prove that they actually landed on the moon.
Have you gone to?
And please don't come at me. If you
Okay.
have, if you have proof, somebody, if you have proof and you want to send it, I will gladly see it. But this is just my opinion.
Yeah.
It's my uninformed, scientific. I am a nurse, but I did not, major in
I think
astronomy
especially
and stuff like that. So.
in light of recent events in the world, I think it is very safe to say that many things that we've been told are true are total horseshit.
Well, think about it. I don't know how you feel about this, but I was raised in school thinking, that Christopher Columbus discovered America. And I don't know, in light of everything that's out on, on the
Or
internet.
do you think it could have been somebody else, or do you think it would have been?
Well, what are they saying that it really wasn't America that he discovered? I don't know.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I mean, those are just things,
Mhm.
I was raised, it was in our history books.
Sure.
Who
Yeah.
knows?
Well, and I will say this.
And I didn't research it, so don't yell at me if I'm wrong.
And I think, I will say this. I do think it's fair to say that all countries write history books in a light that is the most positive for their country. And as far as different events with wars, different events, in their country, I do think that all countries probably frame things, especially the communist countries like China, Cuba. they really hide things from their people.
They have good spin knockers.
Oh yeah, and they hide a lot from their citizens so that people can't make educated decisions and choices, and that's what they do. It's their MO. But as far as the lunar landing, my dad worked with.
That would be moon.
That would be the moon. My dad worked with. I think I told you he worked with. He was with Grumman Aerospace, so he helped collaborate with NASA to help build the lunar excursion module. So that was like a big thing I grew up with, where I was like so proud that he did this project, and he really did do the project. He was a metallurgist, so he tested different types of metals to see what would work well for the little feet on the lunar excursion module. But then I went to the Air and Space Museum in, I forget where that is. I think it's in New York. I was a kid, but I think it was in New York. But went and saw that, and boy, that does not look like it would really hold up any sort of travel. It was like wrapped in like tin foil, and it was the actual lunar excursion module from the videos, and it looked like a little kid made it, and it was wrapped in like a bronze, almost like a tin foil. It looked like it would just fall apart if with a light
Kind of like the
breeze.
submarine did when it went down.
Oh yeah,
below.
well, worse than that. Worse than that. It looked like something that a kid would make. It didn't look at all like something that was millions and millions of dollars. And then the other thing is, well, yes, you're right. I think it is Matt Damon that's doing a movie where they're coming out and basically admitting to the fact that we had to make this video so that the other countries knew that we beat them in space travel. That we really didn't go to the moon when we said we did, but we went later. But we were making a movie about that, admitting that it was a production, because I think enough people have caught on to the fact that we didn't have the technology to do the things. Like I did a conspiracy camp show with my friend Ashley Rose out here, and one of the things about that, she had a great point. She said, well, you see the footage and you see the vessel landing on the moon. Who was there recording that?
True.
It's not like it was like a view from it landing where the moon's getting closer and you're on the thing. No, it was like something was on the surface of the moon capturing it and landing, which makes no sense. And then right, and then they had actual film back then. They didn't have like live stuff like this, where they didn't have internet or a way to send things. Like they had film, so it's a little bit weird, right? So for me, that's why I didn't think that it made sense. And also, they had issues with you look at a lot of the videos, they're doing a lot to this day with green screens. They're doing a lot to make it look a certain way. They have astronauts with little harnesses on that make it look like they're floating in space when they're really not. They have people, they're filming things underwater, so you'll see air bubbles and things like that. So it's like they're going to a lot of great lengths to do a lot of movie effects for something that we're supposedly still doing to this day. So that doesn't make sense to me. And then the other thing that got me was I saw a video from Stanley Kubrick, who was the producer of, or director, I forget, of The Shining,
Right.
as well as Eyes Wide Shut. And he said something before he died, he said something to the effect of the greatest film he ever made, he didn't get credit for, but he felt something to the effect of that he felt bad because it was created to deceive the world. And people believe that he was responsible for the initial video of the moon landing, because I think he did something about 2001 Space Odyssey, whatever movie was out at that time. I think that was his, and so that's why he was the go-to guy. So yeah, it's nothing wrong with questioning things, because I would not be surprised if a lot of what we've been taught is not accurate at all. So go figure. As far as your comedy stuff, since you don't talk about that on stage, you should start to talk about it. It'd be fun. Talk about conspiracy theories. They'll love it. Make them uncomfortable.
No.
Yeah, do it in Florida, right by the
No.
right by NASA.
Florida man will come down.
Do you have any upcoming shows where people might be able to watch you?
Why, yes, I do.
Any at the Swinger Bar?
No swinger shows anytime soon. As far as not that are on my radar.
I think you'll get some invites after this.
I would do. They seem to like me. I have a couple shows. May 29th at the Ice House in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. I am from PA. May 30th, I'm at Soul Joel's in Pottstown, PA. June 8th, I'm at the Case Quattro Winery in Peckville, PA.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm doing some comedy at a women's expo
That's cool.
on June 22nd in Strasburg, Pennsylvania, in the Poconos.
Oh.
So those are the ones that are on the near horizon.
Okay. And are you planning on, in the future, trying to do more, maybe in like New York? Is that far from you?
Definitely. I've been to New York a few times to do some shows, but they were like bringers. When I first started comedy, if you're not in the comedy world, bringer shows are kind of like the bane of the comedy existence. But I guess people need to make money when they can make money. So when I first started comedy, I did a couple bringer shows in New York City.
Was it like a bigger club, and that's why they required
A
that?
bigger club. I did some Comic Strip Live. I went
that's
to
cool.
Broadway Comedy Club.
Nice.
I did one called in St. Mark's Comedy Club.
Mm-hmm.
They were great. Great shows.
Good for the resume,
Within the first 6 months, and I had good experiences with all of them.
Nice.
We made it more like a girls' day out. I had some of my friends come, go to New York City, do some shopping, watch me do some comedy,
cool.
and it was great. So, but yeah, I've done it, been to Philly a few times.
Oh, you mentioned you might do another Kenan Thompson Presents.
Yeah, I've done a couple of his. I did one of his shows, the VIP Access Comedy, the Kenan Presents. I did one in Atlantic City.
Oh,
Great.
see, and I should have done that. I didn't know you were going to do it, and I should have
Yeah.
gone because I got invited to that.
I did the Atlantic City
Would've been fun with
one.
you. Yeah.
I did one in PA.
Cool.
He's doing another one, Punchline, in Philly.
Oh, cool.
In July. And apparently I heard he's going back to Vegas
Oh,
in October again.
okay.
So,
Yeah,
and I heard that one just looked like it was amazing.
Yeah, it looked like fun. A lot of my friends did well with that. I did the one out here in Phoenix and did well. A few of my friends were picked from this one to go to Vegas and do some live tapings with Laugh After Dark. My friend Cricket.
I submitted
Tony
I
D,
submitted
and Chris
for
Bennett.
that festival.
Yeah, it was, and I could have done the Vegas one, but I was supposed to headline that Sunday and do another show on Saturday. So it was I was doing a Friday show, a Sunday show, and all I had available was Saturday, and they wanted people that could be there for the weekend. So I'll try to do it again. But they were fun, and I think that they do actually, people say, I don't know why it doesn't I think a lot of comedians that don't understand it, like they don't understand what they're doing. They actually do quite a bit for comedians. Like if you do well.
Yeah, they do.
My friends, like 3 or 4 of my friends
Go
have
to
done.
SNL.
Yeah.
As a guest.
Yeah, Anthony A. from here went to New York, and then Cricket, Gill, Chris Bennett, my friend, and Tony B., my other friend, they all got to do some live tapings of Laugh After Dark in Vegas.
Nice.
And then a bunch of my friends just did Kimmel's in Vegas. So yeah, maybe we should do that.
Yeah.
Well, this has been very fun. Thank you for coming to hang out.
Hey, it was
this
a lot of
weekend.
fun. It was a lot of fun hanging out with you and your hubby. And
Thank you.
you didn't ask yet, but I will tell you, my social medias
Oh,
is
yes.
basically Steph K Comedy, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and it's Steph, STEFFK Comedy, or STEFK Comedy on all social media.
Awesome. We
And
need
you
to
know,
plan a trip
followers
for you.
are very important, so
Yes.
if you feel like
Give her a follow.
give me a follow.
Give her a wink. Give her a like.
Hey, whatever.
A high five. Throw some money at her. All the things.
Money's always good.
Money's always good. She wants to retire soon, right? Is that the goal?
I'm trying to quit my day job
Right? Yeah, me
so I don't
too.
kill any more
It's
people.
been liberating. Well, yeah.
Theoretically.
Yeah, I switched to working with animals for a reason. I
Yeah.
couldn't do anymore. I couldn't hear about any more back pain stories from
Yeah.
people. Old golfers.
Stomach pain,
Oh,
back
yeah.
pain.
Yeah, it's old grumpy men are not my jam. So
Yeah.
I'm better with the horses and the poodles.
Yep.
So yeah, well we'll plan some trips. We'll maybe do Vegas together.
Yes.
New York would be
Would
cool.
love it.
Yeah, last time I did New York was for a bachelorette weekend, and I felt bad because we were trying to cram it in. And I think I told one of my other friends this is that I brought a group of people, and so they were holding on to me till like the end of the show, and we were there for like 3 hours. It's like, how many people are on this mic?
Yeah.
You know, and it was New York, so like it was like 20 people ahead of me with bagel jokes. And my friends are like, okay, let's go see the Rockettes. You know, it was a little too much, but we'll do it the right
Yeah.
way.
Sounds awesome.
All right, thanks, Steph K.
Thanks
Everyone
for
give her a
having
like and a
me.
follow. Thanks for being
Have a
here
good one.
in the very sunny Phoenix, Arizona.
It's hot, but it's not humid.
It's a dry heat, everybody. It's a dry heat. This is our weather girl, Steph K. All right, now I'm gonna see how I can gracefully get off of this couch.